Hi there. Just another video, and obviously you can tell by the picture, this video is going to be about the system and how I think that everything is organized, and this is coming from lots of different things. Number one is the unexpected spiritual awakening, and that gets you to think, well, if this is really me, then what was the me before? And also after that, you then go on a path, as I did, thinking, how did I get so brainwashed then? How was I so depressed? How was the people brainwashing me? And then you go on this road of conspiracy. And it's obvious. It's so easy to understand what controls the world. It's what controls everything else and everyone else. It's money. It's the financial system. And the joke of it is, the money that we think exists doesn't actually exist. It's not actually real. It's made up money. The real money is that actually exists within the earth, and it's actually real solid gold. But we don't exchange this, because if that was to happen, the system's financial game would be over. The people with the gold would then have all the power. But that's how the financial system in general is just an idea. And so it's one idea, so that means someone created the idea. It's only one person that comes up with an idea. That's only ever the case. So it's someone that came up with an idea of a financial system, and this system controls everything else. For example, the music I've got on is likely, a more spiritual frequency. Now, it's an idea to change that frequency when they put it at 440, for example. And the money controls all the music record companies. Films, it's money that controls the film companies, the Hollywood companies. All fame, you don't get there unless you've got backing. You can't have a decent race to be leader of a country unless there's financial backing there. So it's money that controls everything. And money itself is an energy. Money is an energy in itself. And the financial system is a different kind of energy. Because not everyone that has money is evil. But the financial system and the way it's controlling everything is dark. The idea of the financial system is a bit like the internet. How you've got a few sites that run the whole internet, and everyone's locked into that. And that's kind of like how easy it is for money to control society. The internet is an example of that. The internet is just a so in your face example of that. And that's all everything is. That's how that's what controls the planet. It's the financial system. The financial system keeps the bottom people at the bottom and the top people at the top. That's what it does. And there's even stories going around which no one comes out and says there's anything against, that the elites and social elites and Hollywood elites, I don't know which ones, but they take a drug called adrenochrome, which is supposed to be adrenaline taken from sexually molested and killed children. And people in America say that children go missing all the time. And they reckon that it's for this thing. And that royals are into it from Britain and I don't know who. But the thing that I think is, well, if this wasn't true, then it would be exposed. Because if a story isn't true, then there's ways to expose it, for people who know how to do it. I don't know, but that's what they would do. But it must be true then. That's what I ask. That's what I think. I hope it's not true. You know, having a system controlling the world through finance is bad enough, but to be abusing children as well and to be bringing them into it, I mean, that's just makes it even worse. And it's funny, you know, when you get people that might say something like, why don't you have a child? Well, would anyone want to have a child in the world the way that it's being run? If they care for children, do you think they'd want to have children? And no, they wouldn't. The people that are having all the children don't care about the way the world is. They don't care about the fact that their children, what kind of world that they're growing up in. They don't care about it all. All they care about is the fact that for a little while they're going to breed and they're going to have a little baby for a little while and it'll make their life a little bit easier. But then when the kid's older, they'll just lose all interest. That's what happens. And this is what's going on with this awakening. This awakening is changing that, you see. Because there's now a different breed of man coming and a different breed of woman coming, where these people don't follow and don't copy, where women, you know, understand that they must heal themselves first, because the love you give to your child is the love that you have within you. You see? It's also, you know, I also want to talk about the education system as well. I've got a bit of time in this video to talk about that, and there's nothing intelligent about repeating things. Like, for example, my awakening is the thing that I talk about that was natural to me, but I talk about other subjects that I found out through the internet, and that doesn't make me a genius. It doesn't make me intelligent. It means that I have the exact same ability as a parrot and I can repeat things. That's the exact same thing that people from universities are doing. Nothing to do with intelligence. It's actually a vulnerability, actually, in a way. It's like they'll repeat without being aware of what this is doing to them. See, self-awareness is intelligence. That's the real intelligence. To be aware of what's going on around you and to be able to act upon that, right? And to make the right decisions, that's intelligence. Not to just repeat anything that you're shown. I mean, a sheep just follows. A parrot just repeats. But they don't have the awareness to understand what they're following and what they're repeating after. They just do it automatically. That's a very low level of intelligence. It's still intelligence. I mean, people say, "Oh, everything's intelligence." Well, yeah, it's a tiny level of intelligence, but it's not a high level of intelligence, right? You know, that's all they're doing is repeating things. There's nothing intelligent about that. At some point in their life, their ego got attached to the idea that when I repeat, I get respect. Because the system wants you to think that you're intelligent, you see. The system wants that. It doesn't. The real intelligent people are the people that, you know, the 3 a.m. thinkers and the people that think outside the box. That's the people who the system are feeding. And just now in America, you've got this great awakening, and all over the planet as well, which is going on, where you've got ex-soldiers telling people to not join the army. And as this prolongs more and more and more, you're going to have less soldiers. And you'll get to, when you've got too many soldiers on one side and not enough on the other side doesn't have any ammunition. Doesn't have nothing. And that's where this awakening's going. It's happening in a peaceful, calm, loving way. And the same thing that John Lennon predicted that would happen. And it began from people like that, you know. That's what's going on, but that's the name of the game, to control everything. You lock them down. You lock society in. The matrix. That's what the system really is, an energy system that we created ourselves, actually. That we created ourselves through distorted emotions. That's what the matrix really is. It's a distorted energy system. But as we're going through this awakening, we're healing ourselves. Therefore, that changes the space that we occupy, and that intermingles with the next space. And because this awakening path is so attractive in the spiritual field, and it's one of the only things that a degree can't give you. It's one of the only things people go all over the planet to get this awakening, to get abundance and spiritual ascension, and they go to India, they go all these different places, and they don't get it. Many don't, until they actually go within. Now, it doesn't matter where you are, you go within, and that's where the power is. And the system's game of locking people in. And see, what this matrix has manifested is an illusion of separation, of a separate government, or of a separate system. But as we change the energy, that changes everything. And that's why the system is terrified and try to rush out 5G and the smart grid and the climate change hoax. The climate change isn't a hoax, it's what they're selling you as the solution. See, climate and weather is all engineered by the system. Everything comes from the top. I think one of the methods that it's called is geoengineering. And so they manipulate weather, and they can engineer weather. See, and many scientists are now saying, including artificial intelligence, that this is a simulated reality, a simulation. So that means that weather is non-existent then. It's all a computer. And he or she who controls the computer of the simulation controls the weather. See, everything comes from emotion. It's like when you have a storm, a weather release, that's just the nature's way of crying or having a little tantrum. And you have to have these tantrums, because once you have these tantrums, then you're healing, and then you feel a lot better. That's the thing, you feel a lot better once you release. That's why a lot of people think that you're not spiritual if you have a little tantrum, or if you have, you're releasing your emotions. But spiritual means, what does spiritual mean? It means to align with your spiritual self, which is your divinity. So to do that, you have to be honest. All you have to do to wake up is be the truth. And that means be true to yourself. Like, I'm not just true to what on these videos, I'm true to myself also. Which is, at the start, when I started being like this, it was the awakening, and when you do this, you heal. When you're absolutely honest all the time with yourself. And you got to understand that people don't care. People go from one relationship to the next, not because they love different people, because they don't love themselves. And so they just go from one partner to the next, or have children, or do something. It's always an external thing. Because they're running away from the problem. The problem is within them. When someone acts strange towards you, it's because of something within them. So watch people, how they behave towards you. Right? It's not the situations that happens to us, it's how we react towards it. But some people like attention and drama, but that's because they've got no joy in their own life. But you haven't got long in this life, so you've got to get as much joy while you can. And parents need to think about the world that the kids are living in before you breed. And think of the planet that they're growing up in, and what the most important thing is, the global awakening first. Is to help the planet with the smart grid and everything, and don't just think of that. Think of the children. If you're thinking of the children, you're not going to be wanting to breed. You're going to be thinking of the future of the planet, and you're going to do your best towards that. That's why you're here. Breeding is just another way of doing something external, or I don't know what the word would be, but we're trying to take refuge in something. But that doesn't really heal you. And then when you're not healed, this is what you're giving to your children. So let's think of the children and focus on within us, and heal us, and then we heal the whole planet. Thank you for watching. Thank you.